Made the motion. Commissioner Anderson seconded the motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Next item is the first reading of the wrecker and towing service ordinance amendments. Mr. City Attorney will, excuse me, Chief Castelos will bring the item, and then the City Attorney will read the first order.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. It is our recommendation that the Commission hold the first reading of the wrecker and towing services ordinance in this meeting as discussed in the work session, and that the second reading be held in the next Commission meeting on December 14, 2015.
Okay. Mr. City Attorney, if you would, please.
Okay, as the chief stated, this will be the first reading. It's a very lengthy ordinance. A lot of time and thought had been put into this ordinance. It's been discussed extensively in the work session. And basically what this ordinance does is it brings uniformity to wrecker and towing companies who provide service in the city of Douglas. It was a lot of effort was put into this ordinance by the wrecker and towing companies themselves. They had several meetings with the staff here at the city, as well as many of you city commissioners, and they are in agreement as to the enactment of this ordinance. Since it's very lengthy, I'll only read the preamble and the last paragraph. This be an ordinance of the City of Douglas Code of Ordinances, wrecker and towing services to provide for an effective date and for other purposes, be it ordained by the Mayor and Board of Commissioners of Douglas in regular meeting assembled and pursuant to lawful authority thereof. The wrecker and towing service ordinance of the City of Douglas, Georgia is as follows. Often read for the first time at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Board of Commissioners of the City of Douglas, Georgia on November 23rd, 2015. And we will have the second reading of this ordinance on December 14, at which time you can take action.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Next item of business is to discuss purchase of body cameras. Once again, Chief Castelos will bring that forward.
Thank you, Mayor. It is our recommendation, Mayor and Commission approve the purchase of 30 First View HD complete kit body cameras manufactured by Digital Alley, 17 view links, 1 First View docking station, and 30 extended warranty packages for a grand total price of $37,077.43 from Digital Alley.
Okay. Have the recommendations. Is there a motion? Commissioner Swain made the motion. Commissioner Moore seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next item is to discuss the designation of Miss Betty Vanderveer Day in conjunction with the mayor's motorcade. Mr. Jacobs will bring that forward.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we seek to acknowledge the contribution of Mrs. Betty Vanderveer. I'm gonna get Vanderveer. I'm gonna beat up her name. I tell you.
Governor.
That's correct. First Lady Vanderveer approached GMA in regards to the mayor's motorcade back in 1959, and after she had been seeing the difficult conditions which were 12,000 clients at Central State Hospital in Milledgeville were living. As you recall, that's that has been the premier state mental hospital in the state. Now, 56 years later, her passion for providing gifts to clients at state hospitals remain as strong as ever. To honor this remarkable person and her wonderful legacy, the GMA Board of Directors in June adopted a resolution proclaiming December 1st as Betty Vander Day. The resolution also encourages cities across the state to do the same by adopting a local proclamation. The city participates in the Mayor's Motorcade each year. For the past 3 years, the major fundraising has been our chili cook-off, and other local businesses have donated funds as well. The checks are then remitted to the regional hospital, which ours is the Savannah one, and then also we present checks as well to the Unison Behavior Health, because we also have outpatient mental health patients right here in Douglas, Coffee County. So these funds are to use to purchase needs for patients throughout those facilities and locally as well. So we appreciate all the efforts that she started some 56 years ago. So,
Okay.
all right.
Is there a motion to?
Second.
Commissioner Moore's made the motion. Commissioner Anderson second motion to approve the proclamation. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. And we will read and sign the proclamation and make sure that the media gets a copy of it. for the appropriate publication. Okay. That concludes all our work session items. This time we have comments from our staff. Ms. Georgia, you have comments, please?
Yes. Just want to announce that this Thursday and Friday, the city of Douglas will be closed in observance of Thanksgiving, but we will reopen on Monday for business. And also, Trans Waste will be closed this Thursday and will not be collecting trash or recyclables, but they will work through this Saturday to complete the week out in the collection schedule. Want to announce that we're still taking entries for the Festival of Lights Christmas Parade that will be held on Saturday, December the 5th. The theme for the parade is Santa's Workshop, and the parade will begin at 6:30 p.m. The Douglas Fire Department and Southwire, is Chief back there? What was the other partner? Georgia State Patrol. The three entities together will work again to collect toys for tots for Christmas, and the fire department primarily is collecting the unwrapped toys for boys and girls. And if you would like to participate, this drive is going on through December the 18th. Our Douglas Visitor Information Center, now through December the 23rd, we're having a souvenir and gift basket sale for the holidays. If you want to come by and select a gift item to send to someone as a souvenir of our community or our nice gift baskets that we have, come by and see Kimberly and she'll help you pick out a gift selection. At the Heritage Station Museum, the Coffee County Historical Society have two exhibits up now through January. One is a Nichols Community exhibit, and the other is on the Douglas First United Methodist Church. And one other announcement before I sit down, the Douglas Parks and Recreation Department, they have a class, Christmas Baking and Crafts class, that will be held on December the 12th. They're now taking registration, and this class is for kids from ages 4 to 12 years of age. So they would like for the people to stop by, parents, if they would like to sign the kids up for this class. Those are all the announcements that I have for tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Georgia. Anybody have a question, Ms. Georgia, before she sits down? Okay. Any other staff? Okay. Any other comments? Are there any comments from anybody in the audience? I'd like to make a comment. Okay. Hearing none, we will move into our commissioner comments. Commissioner Pearson, would you like to begin, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Only thing that I have, I just like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. And I also like to commend the gentleman with the rec department, Mr. Graham.
Mr. Graham.
Commend him for his years of service to our community. And I just think that that's a great characteristic of a leader, when you have served and you know how to pass the torch on to someone else. So I just commend him. That's all I
Okay.
have.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Anderson.
I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and be safe on the roads if you're traveling.
Thank you, Commissioner Joseph.
Just second what Commissioner Anderson said.
Okay. Commissioner Swain.
Yeah, just the same thing, be happy Thanksgiving, be very careful on the road that you travel on the highways.
Okay. Mr. Moore.
Just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Okay.
Same thing. I'd like to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving, and that they be travel safe on the highways.
Okay. Just a couple things I have. Please, we continue our See Something, Say Something campaign in the city and throughout. Some activities have gone on. But please know that you can call 260-3600, or if it's an emergency, call 911, and we'll try to do our best to get there to make you keep you safe in your homes and in your areas. Just from personal experience I had this weekend, please take advantage of the junk-free drop-off day. It helps our city tremendously keep our sidewalks and our byways and our roadsides clean. I was over there about a little before 12 and I had to wait in line. There were so many people there, so thankful for all the people that took advantage of that. Helps our Public Works Department and our Trans Waste partners to keep having to pick it up on the side of the road. So it is a good program. I'm glad we're doing that. And there was a lot of people taking care of it, taking advantage of it. So please take advantage of that. I'm sure we'll continue on after the first of the year, so it'll just help keep our city clean. Also help all our merchants in our city by shopping locally. We have a lot of great businesses and a lot of opportunities for shopping here in Douglas and our surrounding area here in the county. So please visit our local merchants and thank them for what they do, and appreciate them for having a business here in our city. It helps all of us as we do that. So shop local if you can. I know a lot of people like to go out of town, but we do have a lot of great people here and that have businesses that depend on our efforts here in our city to be a part of our community. So I ask you to do that. Invite all to come out to the Christmas parade. We'll have an opportunity to see everyone before the Christmas parade. It's always a great event. Please be safe. Bring your kids out. And please be aware of the rules. We want to make sure everybody's really safe and enjoy the time at the parade, but we do encourage everybody to come out and visit our Christmas parade. And again, wish my thanks to everyone for all their hard work. Wish all our families and in our community a happy Thanksgiving. As everybody has said, please be safe if you're on the roads and with your families, because we want everybody to arrive back home safe. Kids are out of school all week, so please be aware of that too. A lot of kids around playing and activities outside. So that's all I have, with the exception of we again thank all our employees, all our staff, and all our commissioners for the great job they do for our city. So that's all I have tonight. We do have a executive session, so we entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session. Commissioner Joseph made a motion, Commissioner Anderson second motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? We're adjourned to executive session. Thank you, everybody.
WDTV 13. Programming is sponsored by
Harper & Company Builders, serving Douglas and Coffee County for 29 years. Jr., attorney at law, selected to the top 100 trial lawyers in the state of Georgia.
Earn your degree for less at South Georgia State College. At SGSC, we offer associate degree programs as well as Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences and a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Both bachelor degrees are offered at the associate level tuition rate, and many financial aid options are available. Plus, classes are taught by credentialed professors who care about your success. Visit sgsc.edu to find out more and to set up your personal tour. South Georgia State College. You matter here.
You're not who you used to be. And neither are we. With a caring staff, experienced doctors, and the most advanced technology, Coffee Regional Medical Center in Douglas, Georgia is better than ever before.
It was the most pitiful thing you've ever seen. The smell of food cooking, poor people that had no control. Ages of residents range from infancy to 60. The patients were cooking for themselves. I remember that big pot of black-eyed peas. It's the biggest pot I've ever seen. The flies, I'll never forget the flies. I remember one woman sitting on the floor, just rubbing her little baby doll. And that's what she did all day long, just rub that little baby doll. Ernie was so touched, bless his heart. We left there determined if there was something that could be done, he wanted to do it.
I think the state of Georgia owes a great debt to Betty Russell Vandiver. She saw a need when she went to the hospital that wasn't being met, and she turned to Georgia cities.
Well, I think it was the Municipal Association and Elmer George who knew them all the mayors, knew all the city councilmen and so forth. He just got behind it. It really just took the state by storm. I remember the first time, there were boxes of pants, boxes of shirts, pajamas, bathrobes, anything that a little town made.
I think this puts a personal touch on what cities do. It's easy to forget about a lot of those people that have been placed in state hospitals. And at least one time a year, our cities and our local neighbors and the folks in our towns have the opportunity to know that those people are there and a need exists and they feel that need.
Even when the hospital closed, we knew that patients were still in our community care centers and their needs were the same. These folks are a part of us. They are our people. They are our community.
We're not doing it with taxpayers' money. We're doing it voluntarily. We're doing it with businesses supporting. We're doing it with organizations in the community supporting what we do.
Just the fact that city officials got involved in mental health way before there was any such thing as community-based mental health and actually were involved. She was way ahead of her time, and I think GMA was certainly on the forefront of getting communities involved and engaged in the lives of people with disabilities.
I don't know, I've had such an interest in life. I really want to be remembered as a good mama, grandmama, and great-grandmama. But I guess Milledgeville would have to be way up there.
I believe this will be Betty Russell Vandiver's greatest legacy.
I don't think she even knew for a moment the impact, the enormous impact that her one project would have on hundreds of thousands of individuals in this state.
It would be the one thing that I would think and hope I would be remembered for. It worked, and it's still working. That's what's so amazing.
I love being out on the water, whether it's, open ocean racing or it's flat water. It's a huge amount of enjoyment for me. I like the competitive elements behind it, but also at the same time, it really allows me to reflect on some of the important things of life. It's amazing how, despite all I've been through, my life will always be defined by one moment, one event. Sure, competing in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta was a defining moment for me. Carrying the American flag and leading my teammates in Sydney to compete again in 2000 was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And having the opportunity to speak, to teach, and compete since then has been a huge privilege in my life. But all of these experiences lead us back to the fateful day, the day I nearly lost my life in a construction accident. On November 19th, 1986, it was a chilly November morning and a typical workday for me. I was instructed to operate the jackhammer, and I was using this jackhammer for about 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, boom, right there, I ended up hitting 3 unmarked buried high voltage cables. There was such a large amount of electricity that was going through these cables, it actually blasted me out of the hole. I ended up sliding back down into the ditch, and there was the energized jackhammer vertically embedded into the power cables, and my knees essentially got sucked back into the energized jackhammer, and that's when I received my second round of electrical shock. The electricity was just shooting throughout my body, and it was finding all these different weak points. The back of my head, my shoulder blades, and those were some of the exit wounds, along with I had 2 toes that were blown off on my right leg. But most of the damage was to the knee area where it came in contact with the jackhammer for the second time, and I had about 1/3 of the knee compartment that was blown away on both of my knees. I was very fortunate because the firefighters were very close by. My heart had stopped because of the large amount of electricity, and they revived me, and then they ended up transporting me to the hospital. And that's where my mother came, and she can actually see the smoke, which was smoldering from my knee area, and that's when my family knew that I was in a lot of trouble, let alone trying to survive. What can I say about an accident like that? It changed my life. Nobody thought I'd be able to walk again. It took nearly 15 surgeries to rebuild my legs and over 3 years before I was able to take a single step without crutches. It's amazing that by today's standards, a simple call, a bit of paint or colored flags would have made a difference. It would have made the difference between me leaving that site on November 19th, 1986 in an ambulance or on my own 2 feet.
Over the past decades, our underground infrastructure has become increasingly complex and congested. As a result, it becomes a serious issue of safety every time we dig. From simple projects like planting a tree or installing a fence, to extensive excavation that involves entire sidewalks, city streets, or agriculture lands. It is important for anyone, for everyone, to call 811 before they dig. 811 is our national one-call number, connecting excavators with their local communications center wherever they are located. The communications center's job is to notify all facility operators with lines in the vicinity of your intended dig site so that they may respond and mark their lines. Depending on state law, the free call to 811 should be made at least 2 or 3 business days before digging is set to begin, to provide enough time for the area to be marked. Neglecting this important step and choosing to dig without having underground utilities marked is choosing to put your crew and the public at risk.
How are you doing this afternoon?
Good about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. So, what are we looking at here? Looks like we have a lot of high-tech and low-tech equipment here to be able to mark some of these lines.
Absolutely. We use paint and flags to mark where the lines are at. We use this utility locator to help us identify where the line's at under the ground.
So when somebody calls 811, who calls you to come out to mark?
Well, when you call 811, the facility owner gets notified of where you're digging, and they call us and tell us to go out and mark.
So these flags actually carry a lot of authority and a lot of power. They essentially mark where the underground lines are, and they can ultimately save lives.
Definitely, definitely.
Anyone planning to dig must wait the required amount of time to allow all underground utilities to be marked. If markings are disturbed, vandalized, or otherwise worn away in the time between marking and the completion of your project, the communications center should again be notified so that your site may be remarked accurately. There are many opportunities during an excavation where safety precautions can and should be taken, because most accidents can be avoided.
As a first responder, our primary consideration is always scene safety.
And because we want to make sure that we are protecting the victim, and we also want to make sure that we're protecting the public. We can't stress enough the importance of dialing 811 before digging. It's the law.
Every excavator has the ability to lead by example, to practice safe digging habits, and remain dedicated to the goal of zero accidents on your dig site.
Hi, Cliff.
Hi, Megan. How you doing?
I'm good. Looks like you've got a project here.
We do. So what does an excavator need to know in the event that they do damage to a utility?
First thing you need to think is communication. And if should it be a gas line, your first step needs to be to dial 911. And after the authorities have secured the scene, call 811. And for other non-emergency damages, even little things like scrapes and dents and scratches can cause big issues down the road. So always call 811 and the facility owner.
So what is the best tip for an excavator if they're going to go ahead and excavate on a site?
Keep in mind those fundamental steps. Call 811 before you dig. Give that locate technician the time to come out and mark underground lines. Then respect the flags and the marks on the ground. And when you do need to dig, if you need to come close to where those marks are within the tolerance zone, don't use mechanized equipment. Use hand tools. You've got to dig safely out there.
Safety, that's the most important thing. And you know, it's not just the employee out on the job site, it's the loved ones at home. That's where it's affected mostly. 25 years ago, when I was involved in my accident, you could see the power of the utility as it blew through my boot. So important to be able to go to work and come home in the same condition.
Couldn't agree more. Safety needs to be our top priority.
A handful of simple steps can help make your excavation site accident-free, protecting the public and your excavation crew from injuries and worse. Calling 811 or submitting an online locate request through your communication center's website is the first step. Waiting to have your site located and making sure the marks are intact and accurate before you dig comes next. And finally, digging carefully with respect for the marks and the underground utilities is critical. It doesn't matter what equipment you are digging with, be it a backhoe, horizontal directional drill, jackhammer, or even simply a hand shovel. Care must be taken, especially within the tolerance zone, because accidents can happen to anyone.
We're never prepared for a traumatic experience. And I learned that, you know what? I can only be the best person that I can be. So I'm gonna have to put 100% energy into my rehab process. So each and every step was very difficult, but I had to learn and I had to believe. I didn't even know if I was ever going to be able to walk again, and going to being able to have this honor of representing my country 2 times in the Olympic Games and carrying that flag. You know, how does that correlate between the two? It all goes down to belief. You got to believe in yourself. It's that hard work. It's that determination. It's being able to go out there and build on your foundation. We've got to be able to set those goals, and going out there and being that best person that you can be. That's how you're going to achieve your goal. And you got to believe in it. You got to have faith.
An accident-free dig site is our goal. Dedication to the goal of safe digging is a shared responsibility between the excavator, the locator, the facility operators, and the communication centers that connect them.
Worksite incidents are a traumatic experience not only for the individual or the victim per se, but also for the co-workers and the family. Having a new family member in my life, a beautiful daughter, it really hits home hard. It's just so important to be able to come home in the same condition that you came to work. We never know what we're going to face tomorrow in our lives. Perfect practice makes perfect. It applies like that in sport. You always have to go out there and work on your fundamentals. The same applies when you're out on the work site. Practicing safety, you have to do that every day.
You are choosing to be a hero every time you take the steps to have your dig site accurately marked, keeping your crew and the public safe. Because safe digging is often as simple as knowing what's below. Be a hero. Respect the flags. Brought to you by Georgia 811.